Hello there. Long time no YouTube video, and I actually was even debating if I should make this video, but I decided that I wanted to do it. In this video, I'm going to be reviewing a few of the LEGO Star Wars sets that dropped on August 1st. I already did long form YouTube videos for the buildable Ewok LEGO set and the V19 Torrent, so I won't be talking about those in this video, but I will be talking about the 327th Battle Pack, Jango Fett Starship, the MTT, the Juggy, and the UCS ATST. I won't be reviewing the Rebuild a Galaxy Snowspeeder. For some reason, that was sent as a separate review offer in the LAN, and it wasn't included in this one. Sometimes they separate review offers. I don't know why. I thought about going out to buy it, but to be honest, that's not a LEGO set that I'm interested in having in my collection. For no other reason other than I'm not really collecting play scale sets right now. I'm actually in the process of trying to downsize my collectibles. As it is, I'm literally gifting most of this August 1st LEGO Star Wars wave to my friends and my friends' kids. So yeah, that's where I stand on that. Before I get started, as I mentioned already, I got these LEGO sets as part of the LAN, so thanks to the LEGO group for sending these sets over to me for review. But as always, all thoughts and opinions are my own. I promise I am not being paid to tell you that I think most of these August LEGO Star Wars sets are overpriced. I promise. That being said, if you do decide to purchase any of these overpriced sets, in my description to this video, you will find a few affiliate links to purchase these LEGO sets on the LEGO website. Using those links will throw a few bucks my way and helps to support my channel, and I just really appreciate it. First, let's look at the 327th Clone Troopers Battle Pack. This LEGO set is 258 pieces and retails for $44.99 USD. I'm gonna give you a spoiler alert about the theme for most of the sets I'm gonna be talking about. I'm probably gonna tell you that they're all overpriced, because they are. So this $45 price tag on this is insanity. The set itself is okay, especially for its intended audience. Oh, this little guy is backwards. But it's just overshadowed severely by the fact that there was a very similar battle pack that released last year that was like $30. Not to mention what you can buy from LEGO for $45 instead. An 800-piece Speed Champions Mercedes double pack set, a 468-piece Triceratops skull that looks really cool, a dancing Groot on the pot and it winds up, and I actually thought that was a little overpriced when I got it, but like at least it's bigger and it has a cool moving function. You can also get a 562-piece two-pack Speed Champions F1 Aston Martin with Lance Stroll and a safety car. You get the picture. So let's look at this set now. This set comes with 4 327th Clone Troopers and 3 Super Battle Droids. I've seen plenty of commentary surrounding the 327th clones, something about there not being enough pouches, something about like stripes not lining up, and we can't forget they no longer have skirts. I'll give you the commas for sure, because I think that would just be such an upgrade on these, and the fact that they don't side print the comma also just makes me wonder why they don't just give you commas back. But the rest of the clone I actually think looks just fine. I'm a big fan of the new pauldron piece, and as far as the printing inaccuracies go, my biggest gripe is that the viewfinder doesn't extend all the way to the sides of the helmet. Here's the 3 Super Battle Droids. Nothing too different or special going on here. One of the small builds here is the AT-RT. It's okay actually. It has some posability with its legs, but it is covered in stickers, which just makes me wonder where the budget went in this set. Like, was it all for the pauldrons? You can clip blasters on the back side of this vehicle and mount a clone on it, and it has a stud shooter in the front. There's a spider droid build. It is posable, but it doesn't have any like stud shooters or anything. And then this tiny turret that has the stud shooter on it. That's about it for this battle pack. I personally have never been a clone army builder, so these LEGO sets aren't for me in the sense that adults buy these to army build. And I'm also not 7 years old, so this set isn't for me in the pew-pew playing sense either. Moving on, let's take a look at Jango Fett's play scale Starship, or Slave One. I don't care what you call it, don't come at me. This LEGO set is 707 pieces and retails for $69.99 USD. This LEGO set did have a small sticker sheet, so I'll try and point out the stickers throughout this video. But before we look at the ship, let's talk about the minifigures. Here's a Jango Fett minifigure. He has the new rangefinder piece, a slightly updated helmet from the previous Jango Fett version from I don't even remember how many years ago. Updated prints throughout his torso and legs. The only difference between this one and the UCS Jango Fett minifigure is this one does not include arm printing, so they have allowed that figure to remain exclusive in that set. I am curious to hear your thoughts about that. Let me know in the comments, because people have some very strong opinions about paying more and therefore having an exclusive minifigure for that. But also, wouldn't it be nice for people who can't afford a UCS set to be able to get that exclusive minifigure in a smaller set? Again, I am curious to know what you guys think about that. Drop it in the comments below. The head underneath has the 2 face prints, same as the UCS version. They are very fitting, and the hairpiece used for him works great as as well. Can't say the same for this Boba Fett minifigure though. So this one is the exact same one as the UCS Slave One version. I've also gone over that in the UCS review. I'm not a fan of this minifigure. I feel like the wrong hairpiece was used and this really needed dual molded legs for his black boots. Here's his other face print, and I went on a much longer rant about this in my UCS review, so go over there if you want to listen. But pretty much, I'm not a fan of this minifigure. The third minifigure, however, Lama Su, looks so good. You can see obviously there's many similarities between Lama Su and Tan Wei from Obi-Wan's Jedi Starfighter, as they are both Kaminoan. But the most special part about this minifigure, the headpiece was not reused at all. That would have definitely been the more low effort option, and instead they gave Lama Su his sort of mohawky style running down his skull and a collar, because he loves to have that collar popped, I guess. Some great printing on his outfit and an awesome new minifigure overall. Onto the ship itself, I think it looks great. The shape was very well done. The coloring is nice. There was only 5 stickers and they were all used for details here on the front side. That's probably the most eyesore-y one because the whites for stickers never tend to line up with the white on the Lego brick. There's these 2 dark blue and 2 green ones mirrored on the top, and that's it for the 5 sticker details. The canopy, when lifted, shows you the little cockpit area. There's no real controls in here anywhere to be seen, but you can fit both Boba and Jango Fett here. You can have Boba Fett standing in the back and then Jango sitting in the front. Like, this would have been really weird if you couldn't put both of them in there. These 2 black pieces here for some cannons on the top of the nose underneath the cockpit, and then there's the lower twin cannons on the bottom of the nose. They are 4 stud shooters. I guess my biggest complaint here is that they don't rotate. They do rotate on Boba Fett's playscale ship from a few years ago, which I'll take a look at in a sec. So I don't know why they didn't do that here. The little entrance ramp, I love this. You can use this space to store your seismic charges. And probably the most fun feature of this set is pushing the sloped piece in releases them out of the backside. There's not a whole lot of space inside the ship itself for storage, like some place for Jango's hairpiece or for his blasters, but you can clip the blasters into this little speeder or control stand or whatever you want to call it, which brings us to the backside of the ship. Has that C-3PO face just like the UCS one. Also back here is the little door where the seismic charges drop from. See, it's like a trap door function. But also back here are these Technic pieces that you can, you know, tuck away in, or you can bring them out. And this allows for some swishability, which is pretty fun. It's something I loved about Boba Fett's version as well. The side wings are supposed to rotate with the ship, but I think they're just not heavy enough to, so need to do some adjusting sometimes there, but it's not the worst. Obviously, you can also choose to display this in landing mode. I personally like that they include this stand option because this is a Lego set that you don't have to buy a separate stand for. This little stand, I mean, it's a very similar build to the Boba Fett one. This one's like slightly larger, but it's not exactly the same. You can place Lama Su on here and I guess just sort of towing the ship. This little cart does have, as I said, a space for you to store your blasters, and you can fit like a couple of these studs here for the stud shooters, but not that many. Now let's look at a couple of Lego set comparisons. First, next to the Boba Fett Slave One ship that released in 2021, it's pretty exact in scale, and I think these look pretty good together. The upgraded stand is very visible, seeing them next to each other. And then there is Obi-Wan's Jedi Starfighter from 2022. Obviously, for better scaling, the UCS is definitely it next to the Obi-Wan's Jedi Starfighter. But my hot take is that I actually think these 2 look great together on a shelf, especially if you have space issues or you just don't have the budget for the UCS ship. I paid $40 for my Boba Starship in this same scale just 3 years ago, and that one was just under 600 pieces, and I think retail was $50. So that's a $20 price hike, and even though there's 100-ish more pieces, I don't know exactly how that's justified, but for what it's worth, this is a Lego set that I would buy for my collection on a good sale. And I'll probably buying 1 or 2 of these to gift for the holidays. Next, let's look at the Battle of Fallujah Separatist MTT. This Lego set is 976 pieces and retails for $159.99 USD. Yes, we are getting into the ridiculously priced territory. This Lego set has 2 minifigures and 10 droid figures, including 1 pilot battle droid, 6 battle droids, and 3 commando droids. Let's look at Aayla Secura. I like her. The print details on her outfit and Leku look really good. My biggest gripe here, it's not the lipstick. It's like this molding piece on the very top of her that I feel like I keep seeing in Lego sets, like it was also in the Ewok minifigure in the buildable Ewok. As far as her lipstick color, I'm really not pressed about it. This is a minifigure of Aayla Secura, and it literally looks just like her. Next, we have, for the first time ever, Clone Commander Bly. I don't even think we had seen a 327th clone in like 20 years or something before, you know, this Lego set and then the battle pack that I just talked about. And look, while I understand that there's people out there who wish that this 2-inch tall plastic figure looked identical to what it's supposed to look like. I'm going to give you a hot take right now. I don't think that a 2-inch tall little like doll made of plastic needs to look like the thing that it's based on. I think that this looks like Commander Bly, just like I think that looks like Ayla Secura. But if he has like 2 pouches instead of 3, or I forget what some of the hyper criticism that this is getting. I had this hot take before I joined the LEGO Ambassador program. I still have it now. I think this looks like a 327th Clone Trooper Commander Bly, and I think it looks just fine. Like I said with the 327th Battle Pack, I wish we would get commas. And then there's the, you know, the viewfinder. I wish that it did extend to the sides, but those are my biggest gripes about these. And he is also sporting the same pauldron piece from the Battle Pack. And then we have the Commando Droid, which has also been a complaint that I've seen, is that he should be a brown instead of this gunmetal gray. But then again, if you pull up the Black Series figure, that one is also clearly gunmetal gray. Again, I think for this tiny scale that they are, they're serving their purpose by looking like the thing that they're supposed to look like. Now onto the set. This did have a small side build of this little step, so you can mount one of the battle droids on it if you wish. The MTT vehicle itself is quite cool. It did have 4 kind of large stickers. Definitely one of the surprises was that this big round piece in the front is printed, and it looks really good. So first up, this top section up here is removable, and these panels up here also fold down, exposing the cockpit for your pilot droid. He kind of has to like lay down there because otherwise he'll hit the top if you put this lid back on. And you can place his blaster back here in one of these holes. There are 2 stud shooters to the sides just underneath that cockpit. And then underneath those, again, the coolest printed part, which is a door, but also exposes the coolest feature in this set. If you twist this knob back here towards the center of the ship, the front side opens up and the droid carrier drops out. This is a pretty great function. And while I know that previous MTTs have included this function, I don't think they've included it to work so flawlessly each and every time. Like I've done this dozens, if not more times, and every single time it plops out and it goes right back in. And when it does go back in, the top door always goes over the bottom one the way that it's supposed to. I just think that looks really great that it can retract in so perfectly. Onto the rest of the vehicle, pretty much every single side panel can fold up so you can see inside. Here's a look at that function, dropping the troop carrier and then retracting it back in so you get a better look inside of that. Other than that, the inside doesn't offer a whole lot, but you can place all of the blasters for the battle droids inside these holes on this Technic part. And you can also place the stap back here for transport or storage or whatever. So that's kind of like a quick look over this MTT. It's a lot more bang for your buck than the Republic Juggernaut, which we're about to look at, but I definitely think this is still about $40 to $50 overpriced, and I cannot recommend this at retail price. And now let's look at the Republic Juggernaut. I have been calling this the Juggy. I just think it sounds cute. This Lego set is 813 pieces and also retails for $159.99 USD. This Lego set comes with 5 minifigures and 3 battle droids. We have an updated Jedi Kiadi Mundi minifigure. He's got printing details on the front torso, back torso, and leg printing. I think this is just a really good looking figure overall. For the first time ever, we have a Commander Bakara minifigure with a brand new mold for the helmet. I think that looks really good. The same complaint as I have had throughout this video is that I wish that that viewfinder went all the way to the edges. I've also heard people say that this kind of looks like a chipmunk. I can see that. And then also for the first time ever, we get 3 identical Galactic Marines. I will say same here with the 327th Troopers. These did desperately need the commas. So setting aside your disappointment that these minifigures and these characters are not in the vehicle that we thought it was going to be, let's dive into the Juggy. The Juggernaut vehicle is one of the few vehicles in Star Wars with wheels, and they're built in a way where you're supposed to be able to, like, I don't know, off-road with it. I kind of feel like it looks like a funny caterpillar. Here's a look at the underside. It's very interesting, to say the least. There are 2 stud shooters on the side next to the front cockpit, and there's a stud shooter on the rear cannon. The sides on the front part of the vehicle do fold down, and then this front panel folds upward, but you kind of have to get this post out of the way. And then there's this top section with the little antenna that you can also remove. All of that gives you really great accessibility into the inside of the ship, which you can see has a lot of of seating. There's the pilot seat in the front, and then there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seats in the middle, which is just wild how much seating is available in this Lego set. And we only got 3 Galactic Marines and Commander Bly. Because then we also have, again, like this crow's nest section up here for a minifigure. I guess this part also flaps upward, but for no reason really. Then you have a section back here for a clone to man the gun on the rear side. There is a stud shooter back here. And then even underneath that, there is another cockpit on the back side. It's a little harder to get into, but again, that's 7 seats, 9 spots total where you can put clone troopers. Well, we only got 4. In a set that is so overpriced, you could have given us 3 more Galactic Marines. I know by this point, this isn't the first review that you are seeing of this set, so I will spare some details, but I will reiterate that this Lego set is a little flimsy as you're handling it. Like just now as I was trying to open up the section for the rear cockpit area, these front 2 angled plates just like fell off. If you're just going to be like swooshing this around a desk, it's okay, but picking it up, you risk panels falling off, and yeah, you just kind of have to be careful where you hold it. As far as the design on the ship, I mean, I think it looks pretty cool. I do think it looks all right for what it is. We have 4 sticker details on the back side, and then 1 on the front side. There's a control on the front cockpit that has a sticker detail, and then the control on the rear cockpit also has a sticker detail. This is not a Lego set that I would personally buy ever to begin with, but I would especially never buy this for $160. I don't even think I would consider paying more than like $100 for this as a gift. And even though the MTT, which I just took a look at, is better and has better play features and is a lot more stable of a build, I have the same opinion on that one. That's just not a Lego set I would ever buy, and especially not at $160. And finally, we have the Lego Star Wars UCS AT-ST. This Lego set is 1,513 pieces and retails for $200 USD. So this was quite cool. We haven't seen a UCS AT-ST since 2006, almost 20 years. This build randomly ended up being one of my favorites in this wave. My favorite was definitely Wicket, but I don't know. I just really had fun watching this come together. The building techniques were really cool. I like how sturdy this is. And I think at least from what I've heard from other people, like it's been pretty well received. This is probably going to look really good next to the UCS AT-AT. I don't have that Lego set, but I do have the Ewok Village, and this actually also looks really good next to the Ewok Village. So let's dive in. This Lego set comes with 1 minifigure, the AT-ST driver. He has some detailed arm printing, but this really could have benefited from dual molded legs. You can place him on the stand that of course has the printed display plaque with the information on the Imperial All-Terrain Scout Transport. This set did have a small sticker sheet, not the worst, but obviously when you're buying a pricier Lego set, you want these parts to be printed. 2 of these stickers are next to the, would these be like knees? On the back side, there are these 2 printed parts, and I really like the use of these ridged pieces to kind of add texture here. Also, let's just admire some of this texture up here too in the hatch, because I think it looks really good. We have this sort of vent. There's also kind of like 2 hatches. One kind of shows you that this is how in-universe you would get into the ship, maybe through this top hatch. But to actually access the cockpit, you do grab this folded upwards and backwards. And in here you can see the 2 seats in the cockpit and the control panels and displays, which are a mix of printed and sticker details. This is not minifigure scale though. This is slightly larger. So unfortunately you can't sit your driver in there. There's just nowhere to have him like attach via studs. But according to Lego, when they're not minifigure scale, when it's too big, that's why they make room for them on the stand. On the sides of the head of this AT-ST, these cannons rotate a full 360 pretty much. Then there's these twin cannon blasters in the front that go up and down. These sort of eyelids can be posed a little bit up and down, and the head does rotate fully side to side, but it does hit these like kneecap areas, so it doesn't do a full 360. And that's about it as much as posability. So you can pose the head, you can pose the eye flaps, the cannons, but the legs do not have any mobility. But I think that adds to the stability of the structure actually. And after all, this is a UCS set, so it is meant to be a display piece. Here's a look at the feetsies underneath. You can see that there's like some rubber grippy parts that were used down here just to keep it from sliding around. And just for funsies, here is a size comparison of the Hoth AT-ST from 2022. This does have a spinning Lego part on the back side so that you can move the head side to side. This is minifigure scale, so you can place a minifigure in there. And there's these missiles, and the legs on this one are actually posable too, which makes total sense because it is a play scale set. It's meant to be played with. At $200, I feel like a lot of people are saying that this is one of the more affordable Lego sets or more reasonably priced in the August wave. But I don't know, I feel like $200 is still that's a very large amount, and I don't know that I could recommend this at retail. I know that like price per piece isn't the end all be all. So 1,513 pieces, that would put this at about $150. But I guess I just feel like the price per piece could be a very good like baseline, and after that you can like add or subtract value. And I don't know that this, for me, justifies the extra $50. Like, we could have at least had the dual molded legs on this minifigure. Anyway, that wraps up this review of these 1, 2, 3, 4. Was that 4 or 5 Lego sets? This video was a little less scripted than usual, mainly because I feel like that's what stops me from creating more YouTube videos, is that the scripting for them is daunting. So if I did miss something, if I missed details, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments. I'll be more than happy to address them. Other than that, thanks so much for watching. If you've made it this far, please give this video a thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate it. And if you like what you see, hit the subscribe button. I would love to have you here. Okay, bye!